There we go. So I hope everyone had a lovely Valentine's Day. I wasn't thinking of anything in particular when I came up with this idea, but let's see, from here to here. Okay, let's zoom out a little. Not sure, maybe like cinnamon and sugar. I think that would be a good one. Oh my God, volume on the thing. Hey, Ranch. Welcome. Yeah, I was thinking cinnamon and sugar was one, and then I was thinking like a cell phone and its charger. I don't know. I'm not sure. What's a good cutesy? Yeah, I hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day. I can't see how many people are here right now, but we did all right. We went for a date last week. Okay. I'm just trying to get this outlined. Yeah, I'm going to do the cell phone, and then I'm going to do, like, that's the sketch for the cell phone. Non-company specific phone. It's a little fat, actually. So maybe it's a Samsung. And then, like, the charger. It's just spitballing. Man, it was terrible when chargers were not all USB-C. It seems like a slightly one-sided relationship. I was just thinking about these things going together and being cute, but now that I'm thinking about it, in terms of like human relationship, or maybe not even human, but like a classical, stereotypical relationship. There's like a spark, right? That's how there's a charge in the air. All right. Let's do cinnamon and sugar. Although that one's also just a little funny because it's just just gonna move this out. Because I guess cinnamon we can do in a shorter container. Something like spice containers, cinnamon and sugar. I think that'll be cute. Oh no, I figured it out. Obviously, we don't hold sugar in the same spice containers. So let me pop that. So we'll do sugar first. We'll put sugar in that like classic diner table sugar container. There was somebody recently, like a creator, who was like blown away that somebody had one of these in their house. I can't remember if it was a comedian or someone, but they were like fascinated that somebody could have, one of these diner sugar containers. in their own house. But I think you can get this, it's like $3 at a restaurant supply store. Hey, Dippa. Hey, Plorb. How's everyone doing today? Hope you all had good yesterdays. Mine was pretty good. Okay, we'll do just some sugar in there, and we'll do like the fluting. We'll come back and make that a little bit nicer, maybe. And so for the cinnamon, I think still kind of a short king cinnamon. I think I'm going to do the classic like McCormick bottle. It's the one I mostly have. Yeah, we're doing little like cute things in love or weird things in love. Cute couples, I guess. So we did like tablet and charger. This is going to be cinnamon and sugar. And then I'm out of ideas. So I forget what I was going to draw next, but I forgot. So if you guys have an idea, that'd be great. We're just going to have to wing it. Oh, that's a good one. Cinnamon and, oh, peanut, I was just still saying cinnamon and sugar. Peanut butter and jelly. How do you spell cinnamon? Double N. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need more than that because it won't fit on a label. Peanut butter and jelly on bread. I got like I had like a frog in my throat lately. And I always feel like so weird talking when I have that because it's like uh, man, so I was thinking about I Dream of Jeannie because I recently rewatched it as an adult. And it was on a lot when I was a kid on like TV in the middle of the night. When I was a night kid, I'm a night adult too. So I most of the time when I was watching TV as a kid, it was stuff that was on in the middle of the night, which means like I didn't really get to pick and choose the programming because it was before streaming. Although as soon as you could stream, like even before it was common, I was streaming everything. But yeah, I rewatched I Dream of Jeannie. And a lot of those shows, man, it's like I didn't realize that part of it was so like this over the top like comedy romance subplot, which I guess makes sense. I would have been like 9 or 10. I knew that Jeannie wanted to marry. Yeah, it was a weird. Who knows? I don't know why I was thinking about that. I'm just gonna color the top of this red. And then we'll do, I guess, peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly on bread. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm just going to move this over. I'm just going to fill this up. Lock and key is good. I was thinking, well, you'll see. Kind of like a take on the peanut butter and jelly. Man, I used to draw bread. This is like, so there's not a ton of things I drew when I was a kid. Like I like doodling, but there was some stuff I would really like want to get better at, and so I would practice and draw it a lot, which is, how you get better at things. So smart kid. But most stuff, I just was like, yep, I'm bad at it. And I stopped drawing it. That's how you stay bad at things. Dumb kid. Anyway, bread, for whatever reason, I loved drawing bread. I like really thought like that I had a good grasp of how bread looked. I think I did. I think I still pretty much do. But it's a weird thing. Like, why was I so into bread? Who are the? Oh yeah, bread is awesome. Ooh, oh, that's really good. Yeah, Professor Utonium. Okay, so I don't have a visual imagination or visual memory. This is just like a thing. I have aphantasia. But Professor Utonium, I don't remember much, but here, I remember that he had like gloves like this, right? And is this from just the intro scene? I can't remember, but he has like, you know, I drew the hand really bad. I like, let's make this a finger and I'll move the thumb. Like holding a sugar and spice. I was just did sugar and spice, chemical X or whatever. So that's all I remember is that he has like big black gloves. I don't know if that's true. Okay, yeah, very square. Okay, it's just the intro. Okay, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I was maybe it is just because I love bread. Maybe I was just like, you know, it's friggin' awesome. Bread. Have you thought about that? That does sound like me as a kid, actually. Okay. Let me just clean up some of these guidelines. I call them guidelines, even if they're just like changes that I made, because they guided me to the correct answer. We'll throw a little surface on this bread here, and then let's get some peanut butter and jelly sticking out of the sides of this bread. I'm going to do peanut butter, even though you should do peanut butter on both sides. I'm going to do peanut butter on one side and jelly on the other. Okay. And then let's color it. Why not? Do, yeah, so many cartoons just have the four fingers. Do the Powerpuff Girls have? No, they don't even have fingers at all. So that's interesting. The Powerpuff Girls, I never learned how to draw. And like, I think I loved the Powerpuff Girls. And so, like, I had a Powerpuff Girls sleeping bag and stuff as a kid. I really liked the Powerpuff Girls. But I think, like, people assumed I could draw it because I would like doodle a lot, and then I loved the Powerpuff Girls, but I couldn't. And then people would get like upset with me that I couldn't draw Powerpuff Girls. Maybe not a lot. Maybe this only happened like once or twice, but I have like a few distinct memories of it happening, which I hadn't thought of. Man. So Powerpuff Girls sleeping bag, and then I took it on a class trip where we all had to go sleep away for whatever reason, like a, one of those building, I don't know, character building things where like I did was terrible. I mean, listen, it built my character, sure. There was lots of things I did there that like have been like, oh, good, I know I can do things. And that's been important in my life. But like also, it was some of the most bullying that I ever experienced in school. And like I was already experiencing a lot of bullying, so that doesn't help. Yeah, so my Powerpuff Girls um, sleeping bag got taken, and like I don't know why. Like, I mean, I think I have a guess why, right? Like people were like, it's not normal that you, a boy, like Powerpuff Girls. And you don't seem to care that we're upset about that. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I never really thought about that. It does kind of remind me of like the futurist 1950s stuff. Yeah, like I think like there's lots of characters people like that they can't draw from memory. I think people thought Powerpuff Girls was like a simple, they were simple, but I still can't draw them from memory. Well, maybe. We'll do a Powerpuff Girl and Chemical X. That'll be the next. Okay. So I find like things like this, right? It's like a clear cup with milk. I think they're hard to shade or color because you don't want it to look empty, but it's white. So it's like a hard. I use the light blue and then I try to add like a sometimes like a light gray and then a reflection. Yeah, yeah, but like I'm gonna try. I haven't. This is my guess. It must be. Maybe it's this. Yeah, let's say that. I guess hair, giant eyes. I remember giant eyes. A lot of cartoons that are supposed to be cute skip like mouths or noses. I'm gonna guess they skip the nose. Maybe they don't, but like Hello Kitty doesn't have a mouth. It would not surprise me at all if Bubbles did not have a nose. And then no neck. We'll do kind of a this body. Okay, yeah, no nose. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I wasn't sure. That was my guess. And then legs and arms. And then I guess a dress. So like maybe it's like that. All right, that's my best guess. I'm gonna look it up and see how bad I did. You feel free to look up Bubbles at home. Okay. Bubbles Powerpuff. So I haven't watched the new one. Okay, pretty close, pretty close. The dress is right. She'd have a belt and like Mary Jane's or something. But otherwise, that's not bad. That's pretty good. I think there is a new one, yeah. Wasn't there a remake or Powerpuff Girls? I don't think it did well. 2022. Okay, they said they were in work in Powerpuff Girl in 2022, but now it looks like he's prioritizing. So it's from the original creator, but it looks like he's prioritizing a different reboot or a different I'm not sure, a different series. Foster's Home. I skimmed it, and it was like you can't trust anything you read anymore. Okay, I'm gonna stop working on PowerPoint Girl. All right, I think we have some good ones. Oh, what about hmm? I was thinking like of a sheep, but then my sheep was going to be wearing a sweater. I guess it doesn't make sense. I was thinking like a sheep wearing a sweater, and then the person that they love is somebody knitting. So I'm drawing it. What kind of ears do sheep have? I'm just going to do, that's probably right. Nope, that looks like a bear. I like how I've been thinking a lot about like when you really need to draw hands and like if it's worth it or if you can convey what you need to convey with just like shapes. I feel like a lot of the time it's better to not draw the hands. He's oh no. He might be wearing his earlier self. Bah. I'm having a soda today. Okay, they have crazy ears actually. Sheep are great because they don't, oh, yeah, thank you, pastoral. They don't, the way we've engineered them, we haven't engineered them. What is it called? Domesticated animal husbandry, whatever that's called. Domestication, I guess. Bred is, yeah, the way we've bred them is they need to be sheared. Otherwise, they don't do good. Right, selective breeding. And so, because of that, like maybe there was an ancestor to a sheep who didn't need to be sheared and could run around and be fine. But sheep nowadays, they need to be sheared, otherwise their fur just gets bigger and bigger and gets matted, and it's like not healthy for them, and eventually it can cause them to like not be able to walk around. And so it's like much more healthy for the sheep to keep them sheared on a regular basis and collect their wool. And wool is an amazing for clothes. Wool is astounding. But I'm not here to sell you wool. It can be itchy, but usually it's not. Sometimes it's itchy to start and then it stops being itchy, but often it's just very nice and smooth and is not itchy at all, depending on the quality of the wool. All right. And so we'll do like a granny or no, like just a young person. Okay. That's that. That's the hips. And here we go with the rest of the body. A shoulder too, which is good and be important because this is where their knitting hands are going to come from. Knitting hand one, knitting hand two, some knitting needles. We'll give their hand somewhere in there. And then I don't really know how knitting looks. I've not knit. I don't think I've ever knit except on like a loom. Is that called knitting or weaving? Oh yeah. Have you heard about what happened to Pompeii? I have, unless it's new. No, no, yeah, like historically. Yeah, some of the best linings are wool. Like I thought I had like a wool sweater from like Irish wool sweater, which was popular when I was growing up. And it was itchy, man. Eventually I really liked it. I think after it got taken care of and like it was given some time or whatever, maybe I got a little less sensitive to it. But most of the stuff that I've had that's wool has just been great. Like really warm, really. I had some wool sweaters that were some of the softest sweaters I'd ever had. So, one new interesting thing about Pompeii is that they think the timeline is a little bit different from what they used to think. So, they used to think it happened in the summer, but they're not so sure anymore because if it happened in the summer, it was a unusual summer because they were eating a bunch of fall foods and all sorts of stuff. A lot of evidence now that they've archaeological a bunch more of it. A lot of the evidence shows that maybe it was fall. We thought it was summer initially, partially because there's like I think it's Pliny the Elder talks about it, and he's like, "Oh, it happened. I remember when I was a boy, it happened in the summer." And we just kind of gave that a lot of credit because I think it was corroborated with somebody else. But anyway, yeah, Pompeii might actually have happened in the fall. Yeah, I'm saying Pompeii, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Oof. I don't think I can. I don't know what Pompeii would be in love with. I mean, like you kind of so go, oh, do the mountain, but that's not really kosher. Have you guys looked up well, I don't know, look this up. One factoid about Pompeii is that the graffiti, um, there used to be tours of Pompeii, but they wouldn't let women or children see the graffiti. They would like they wouldn't admit them. You know, had to be a single man to go see the graffiti of Pompeii. And like even female scientists, I believe this is the fact what I heard, even female scientists have been turned away. This would have been in the 70s. So it's different now. You can probably see the graffiti of Pompeii. Um, no, we won't. He won't. That's better. Okay. Like online or something in an official gallery. Yeah, aliens. So we'll do an alien. Um, what's it called? An alien. One of these. We're doing the hearts and love. So I think. Okay. So 100%. There's aliens out there, right? 100%. I like. Is there a small possibility that there are no aliens? Sure, I guess, but it seems almost infinitely more likely that there are aliens out in the universe somewhere. So now I think you get to the heart of the question, and which is a lot harder to answer and to think about, which is have there been aliens on Earth? So I think. a lot of science says like no, um, because there's no evidence for it. And like in some ways, that's true. Um, because we don't have any solid evidence that anyone's aware of that there are aliens, right? But no, no, I think so. I think they were more crude than you might think. They were the ancient Romans could be very explicit. In fact, one of the things about Pompeii is that there was a bunch of like male genitalia signage everywhere because that was the um, symbol for like sending people to the brothel. That's how you knew where the brothel was. Yeah, I don't think it's wise to go back in time to see Pompeii. Let let disasters be disasters. Let them live in their if you can't help, if you can't change anything. I think it's kind of like if we develop time travel. So you know how like right now people are not allowed to go and disturb shipwrecks and stuff because they're considered burials at sea, and so they're considered graveyards. Right? You're not allowed to go disturb graves generally. I think if we develop time travel, then the disasters like Pompeii or like the Titanic and stuff, that would be the same thing. It's almost like a burial at sea. If you can't change it, right, then that's the moment they died. That's their, yeah. I bet you middle school boys on some test paper is probably the equivalent. I think you're totally right. Um, yeah, maybe like maybe high schoolers, but I think probably closer to middle schoolers. So one thing is about aliens is we don't know if technology, if we have a very good understanding of physics and we're not going to unlock any special thing that means you can travel faster than light or see things that are in a faster than light way or anything like that, then yeah, probably there's not aliens here. That that would be pretty hard. Oh yeah, I will be right back. Oddfud's going to take over for me for 1 second.
What are you drawing?
An alien in love with something.
Well, this is love. Okay. Hi, everyone. Oddfud here. Let's make some eyes. Teeny tiny mouth. Hi, Addie. What should the alien be in love with? An aloe plant? Well, who doesn't like trains? Everyone likes trains, right? They're efficient. Pizza? Okay.
Looks good. He doesn't know what he loves.
Does he want to date pizza? Or does he want to date? Cactus.
Now that age-old question. And then there's like a jealous hamburger in the background. You want my chopped liver?
Yeah, he was like, no, then it's like the spaceship that's been taking him around, housing him, feeding him. Like,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
Yeah, that was a good temp. Even the big ones are cooked nice.
Okay. So like 10 minutes and then I can start eating?
I'd say so.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Yeah, but if, for example, there is some sort of technology, if we don't have a full understanding of physics and the universe, which we don't think we do, then who knows? Right? Like, one thing, yeah. Oh, I love this. These are actually, that's not his eyes. These are his glasses. This is his space goggles. What is my problem? Okay. So one thing that leads me to think aliens might be aliens on Earth are a more than a possibility, um, or at least are a possibility. And I think this is for a lot of people, this is true. Is just like individual accounts, right? Like I do believe people when they say something happened to them. And I think you see this, maybe not every single one. All right, what do we got next? But especially if you look at accounts like throughout history also, where like there are people who talk about these experiences that they had, and then I don't want to talk about this, the aliens. I mean, I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's likely, and I think it's practically impossible unless we discover new physics, which I think we will, but the new physics would have to be the proper kind of new physics. So, um, I'm gonna do death. I wasn't thinking of it, but now that I've drawn this like hooded figure, I guess I will. I'm gonna do like skinny death. Is this what lanky death? Is this what death looked like in there's like a cartoon where death kind of looks like this. Um and Mandy, something in Mandy. So but I think throughout science, we especially in Western science, I'm not sure about other I mean, a lot of science is all around the same, but you see this in Western science more than you see it in East, like in China, Asian science. Um, not peoples, but organizations. Uh, they don't believe people. So you might have a like this alarm. You might have a story, a cultural story that is the culture is their history, right? Like and they might say like, oh, we've been here and we've been doing these things for 6,000 years, and we know because like we have historians who have told us about it. Like, and Western science will say like, well, no, because that's unlikely because this is what we believe from other things, and like your evidence of knowing it because of whatever, like oral history, like oral histories are not very good. We don't trust oral histories. And then they'll do science and they will discover that the oral history was right. This we see this happen over and over again, where like they don't want to believe. I don't know where on the scythe the um, handle is. Is it towards the blade? I kind of think it's towards the blade, like this. Because then, no, I don't know. It kind of makes sense. Hey, Gren. Yeah, I definitely think there is alien life out in the universe for sure. Um, and I think we're probably even going to find life in our solar system. I think life is probably pretty ubiquitous, but intelligent life for sure out there somewhere. Because I think like even on Earth, you have like octopus, which are clearly intelligent, and you have like uh, the dolphins and the whales, which are clearly intelligent, and they all evolved separately. Well, to an extent. Octopus evolved pretty far away from humans, but at least dolphins and humans have a relatively recent common ancestor. Not super recent, though. Okay, we'll have death be in love with like vaping. I don't know what's terrible. What kills people? Oops, I'm focusing on this little fingers and they do not matter at all. I could have left that alone. Okay, I'll give him. Oh my God. Yeah, Ozempic. That's pretty good. But I don't want to imply that Ozempic kills people. I would normally just do like cigarettes because that's what like every piece of media when I was growing up was like cigarettes will kill you. They weren't wrong. It was just a lot. Maybe we'll do uh like moonshine. A bottle of moonshine. She only has eyes for him or them. I guess death is probably a them. You only have eyes for them. A little jug handle. Oh, thank you, adventures. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, unicorns is great. This will be a love triangle. We'll do unicorns on the other side. I was thinking maybe like I don't know why. I was thinking a tiny unicorn Gosh, what do horses' heads look like? And one time somebody told a joke, and it's a horsicorn. It's the body of the horse, that the head of a horse and the body of a unicorn. I don't know if it's from something, but I have never forgotten that joke. Okay, and your little tiny horse hooves. Little tiny horse hooves running through the forest. Everybody sees you on your tiny horse hooves. Everybody sees your tiny, tiny horse hooves. Sorry. I don't know why I'm thinking about tiny horse hooves. Hooves. Hoofs. Weird. English is weird. Here. Here. This looks like more like a donkey. But we don't know what unicorns look like. Maybe they're donkey-esque. Looks more like a cow now. Oh, that's awesome. Enjoy your cute puppy stickers. I will probably go soon to eat dinner as well, or anyway. Unicorns like I was trying to think of when I was a kid, like, and I'm sure this is still true. Um, there were so many like Valentine's kits, and they'd be expensive pieces of printing that were pretty straightforward, and they just had like Optimus Prime on them or something. In fact, there's a famous one that's Optimus Prime that's like been made a meme of. I think this is just such a scene. The We gotta add somebody else in. Maybe this is such a good question. Who else do you add in? Oh, okay. I'm gonna add in a sky jellyfish. You know, the famous jellyfish of the sky. God, if there was sky jellyfish, they would be terrifying. Like just dumb creatures that don't really act on consciousness. They just float around on the wind and like sting you and eat like, I don't know, small birds or something. I don't know what they would eat. They'd like show up and you'd be like, oh, I'm not going to go for that walk. The jellyfish have come in on the wind. We had jellyfish where I grew up. I grew up along the bay, and we had jellyfish, and they were this like pink yellow. They kind of looked like throw up, and they were so big. They were like the size of this whole piece of paper, but not one dimensional, like big. And their sting wasn't terrible, but I mean, it hurt a lot. It just was not like life-threatening or anything. It hurt for a long time too. I'd say a little bit better than a bee sting. But man, do they suck. And it hurts for a lot longer. I feel like a bee sting hurts for a few hours. The jellyfish sting would like go forever. Okay. The jellyfish is capturing little love hearts in the air. All right. I think I'm gonna go. Thank you everyone for joining me for some weird things in love. Cell phone and charger, cinnamon sugar, peanut butter jelly, and a glass of milk. What do we got? Death, alcohol, a sad unicorn, and an air jellyfish. That's a weird love quadrangle. It's hard to explain. I think the peanut butter and jelly and glass of milk, that came out pretty good with the color, the light coloring. Man, I was just thinking when I was young, I really wanted to be able to draw love hearts like evenly. I'm pretty good at it now, but I used to be like all of them would be something like this. And I don't know why. Like, I guess that's still, if I go really loose, that's still kind of what happens. But for whatever reason, it felt like all the girls in class could draw love hearts really well. And then the boys would be like, I could draw one. Like people, I knew people that was their love heart. I feel like it needs more, but it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I would do 6. Anyway, thanks for being here on this shorty love in the name of it's tomorrow, yesterday, Valentine's. This is your reminder to go get chocolate that's on sale, because now that it's over, they'll sell it for pretty cheap. It's my reminder. I should have gone. I was gonna go today, but I spaced. Now I'm just drawing chocolate box. Oh my gosh. So when I was even just a few years ago, uh, if you bought a box of chocolates, it kind of had, you'd buy a box of chocolates, it'd be like this size, and it would be filled with chocolates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would be filled. There would not be a ton of space left over. I just bought a box of chocolates, and like, I guess everyone's talking about this, like shrinkflation. I'm sure there's other things. And it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think 1 or 2 more here. I'm like, that was it. And like, there used to be 2, 3 times as much. All right. Yeah. Good night.